1, 2, 3. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. What's going on? Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, as you see by the title, we decided to let the people know what the first week of college is really like. We're both in college and this needs to be heard. I think for sure that high school students need to hear the overall truth around college. What do you think?
Yep.
If you guys are new here, I'm Gundy.
I'm Emily.
And this is our channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like or comment. We really appreciate everything you guys do. Well, other than that, let's hop right into the video. Alright guys, so you just graduated high school and you're about to go to college in the fall. So this topic is going to talk about moving day / first week of college.
So moving day, most freshmen move into a dorm. I can't really speak much on dorm life because I never lived in a dorm. I moved into a house my freshman year.
Alright, so at our college, we had to live in a dorm freshman year. It literally was required unless you were excused of it. And that was the whole process between itself. I lived in a dorm 3.5 years ago, really. I started in the summer of my freshman year just to get a head start. What dorm life was like for me, I lived in a 2-person dorm room with community style bathrooms. The day I walked in, I met my roommate and it was probably the most awkward thing possible, but it's just something you just get used to. The first week of college is mainly meeting people for the first time and trying to give them your best side of yourself, I guess I could say.
Okay, so on the first week of college, everyone knows that there's all these people in a brand new environment and they have no idea what they're doing. Most people don't really have a lot of friends. So the school and the people at the school try to make you feel really welcome, and they have all these different events going on all day, each day of the first week for you to go to.
So since they try to make you feel welcome throughout this whole week, it's really up to you if you choose to try to go to these things or you can just stay in your room. I think you kind of get forced to be friendly or forced to be out of your comfort zone. Either way, it's really up to you.
Because either you can go to this event and meet a bunch of strangers, or you can sit in your dorm room with a brand new stranger that you just met.
That's true. But really, you will eventually get along with everything. But to break this down even more, now it's time to go to class. Okay, so this is actually really funny. When it comes to classes, I was definitely the person who was way too extra in all of these things we're about to list.
So basically, when you're a freshman, you think, okay, I'm in college, these classes are about to be hard, it's going to be so stressful, this is going to be the worst week of my life because I'm starting college. But it's actually the complete opposite of that. It is very laid back, easygoing, and not what you're going to expect.
Yeah, so the first week is all syllabus week. Most of the teachers know that they're not going to give you hard work during your first week of classes, so everything is pretty smooth and fun, I can say. So
as a freshman, you think you got to make it to class on time, you got to do all this stuff, and you're freaking out. So you wake up way too early, you get way overdressed, and you get to your class way before it's time to get there.
Where the school we went to, it was actually very helpful. The instructions on how to get to class, they put it in our app, so where you can click on a button and it'll take you right through there in your maps.
So say your class starts at 10:30. As a freshman, you're like, okay, I gotta get there on time. So you actually end up at the class at 10 o'clock. You can't even get in.
There's been a lot of times where you see a bunch of people standing outside of the door and not one person tried to open the door themselves and it'd be wide open. This happens often.
Yeah. So you go from being in high school and having to follow a dress code, and you just kind of assume that in your college time you're going to dress up like that too. So you arrive at your first day of college, you dress nice, your hair is fixed, and you realize everybody else is dressed like a bum. And that is what college students do every day for the whole semester.
Pretty much, yeah. You don't really have to impress at all, really, but you can just be comfortable. Just let you know that. When you think of college and high school, you may like put it off as teachers are being mean and there's just huge lecture halls where the teacher doesn't care about you and friends don't really get along. Everyone's just sitting in the classroom silently. Well, it's totally different than that. usually there's icebreaker games that are played where they try to let the people get together and just try to get them out of their comfort zone. But you also can be that freshman that does not say a word and just stays on their phone most of the time, because there is lots of free roam area. Everything that you do is up to you. College is really what you make it, and you can put in all the work and get in the good grades, or you can fail really easily, but it's all up to you.
There are some teachers where you get in the classroom and it's a huge lecture hall and they just pass out the syllabus and say, all right, bye. And you just kind of go and they never really learn your name. But there are some classes that are a little bit smaller and it's in a classroom style, kind of like high school. And they actually do want to know your name. They do want to get to know you. And that's what the first day is like for those teachers.
Now we're going to break this down to the next category, which is food. Everyone loves food, so here we go. Now, this is only our point of view at our college, so this is not based upon every school that you go to, but this is our experience.
So when you're a freshman, you are required to buy a meal plan if you live on campus. So I did not live on campus. I was not required to buy a meal plan. Kind of wish I was, because a lot of places where we had to eat when we were freshmen were great. He was required to buy a meal plan. And
so yeah, I walked to all of our CAFs and I walked to all our dining halls. In a meal plan, you usually get a certain amount of swipes that are considered meals, and then you have a certain amount of bucks that would consider flex. Flex were used at like our fast food restaurants, and our meals were used at our CAF in our dining halls to have a whole meal in front of you. And now all of these were buffets, and since they were buffets, we have to throw in the freshman 15. Now for me, it was past 15, but it's something about going to college where eating happens all the time. There's just no way around it, unless, you try, I guess.
After you finish class, people are like, hey, what you doing? You want to go eat? Of course.
Of course, there's always places to hang out at, and there's always times of freedom to eat or do anything else you want. Our food was definitely great on most days, and over time you kind of get used to it. It's really the same thing on each day of the week, but the CAF for us was started to get boring as the year went on. But I want to say, when they know something good is about to happen or something's going on, they try their hardest to put out the best food possible, and that's the days that you have to go. And those don't happen often, but they happen every so often.
Okay, at our school we have 3 different places where you can eat. The first is the cafeteria. The second is a like sit down restaurant type look. You get your food and you can get a side salad and a drink and you sit down like at a booth and you eat. And then our third place was like a food court where you walk in and there's a few different options. When we were freshmen, our options were Chick-fil-A, Freshen's place where it was all health food, and then a Mexican place, and also a little place where you could go and request food like a concession stand and they would make it for you. And that was our choices of where we could go eat.
Yeah, so definitely all good places usually, but the more you find yourself swiping, the more that your numbers start falling, and you can use up your meal plan before the semester is even over. It's all up to you. All right, so our next thing I want to talk about is time management, responsibility, and just freedom in general. This is very, very important. If you do not keep it balanced, then you can find yourself being insane at some point or something. If it's not balanced, then you can go crazy, because this is the most important thing that needs to happen in college. For us, everything was smooth, calm, and collected. We had a good time, and we just weren't really told how to balance things, but you just have to figure it out on your own.
So you go from being in high school and someone always wondering where you are, making sure you're where you're supposed to be, and then you get off away by yourself and it's all up to you. If you want to go eat McDonald's at 3 a.m., you can go do that. You don't have to ask for permission, but you also have to make sure that that's the smart decision. And sometimes you do it and realize later, okay.
Yeah, so this happens quite often where people stay up and nobody tells them, and then you can wake up for your 8 a.m. class and act like everything's normal. Nobody would ever even ask. But that can have you sleep deprived eventually. But it is fun for freshmen who are living the dream. It really is.
You start to realize that when you first get there, it's like the craziest thing ever to go get Taco Bell at midnight, and then you see upperclassmen who are just doing that and they're like acting normal because it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah, so as freshmen, it's big to have your social life as big as possible. The more people you know, the more connections you have in life, and the more directions you are able and opportunities you're able to have. Freshmen, yeah, you need friends. I mean, I don't suggest you just do everything on your own. It's better if you have, a group of strangers that you would definitely connect with. So for me, my freshman year, I used to call my mom for everything. It was like really asking for permission to do stuff even though I was hours away. It's just something about you kind of get homesick eventually if you're not around the same thing. Everything is new and you don't really know how to adapt because nobody tells you, but always ask for help and just get out of your comfort zone to do those things. You feel that responsibility almost immediately. Alright, so now that you have all this time, what are you going to do with that time? The next thing we want to talk about is partying. Every high schooler, everyone hears about college parties. So what are they really like for a freshman walking in? That's when most organizations throw their parties, whether it's a dorm party, house party, or the Greek life throws their social party. So it starts out heavy at the beginning of the year. So for freshmen, if you decide to go out, just make sure you stay safe. Go with your group of friends and just have a good time. Alright guys, so to wrap this up, overall freshman view of the first week of college, it really is a fun experience. I highly recommend going to school in my opinion. Freshmen have a lot of mistakes, but don't worry about those mistakes because we all make those.
So basically, the first week of college, it doesn't define your whole experience, but if you don't start out, choosing to go to the events and choosing to go out and make friends, that's how it's going to kind of be for you. College is what you make it, so we suggest you go out and actually put yourself in those events and make friends.
Alright guys, so let us know if we missed out on anything, what college is like for you. If you've already been there, please drop down in the comments. If you stayed to the end of this video, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like it. We really appreciate all you guys do. Again, I'm Gundy.
And I'm Emily.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
You're watching Disney Channel.